Have you ever stopped and thought about this? Corned beef doesn't contain corn. It doesn't look like corn, and it certainly doesn't taste like corn. Yet for centuries, people across the world have called it corned beef. So where did the corn go? Was it ever there in the first place? Or is this one of those everyday names hiding a long-forgotten story? Today, we're uncovering the surprisingly old, practical, and slightly misunderstood history behind why corned beef is called corned beef. And the answer goes back hundreds of years to a time before refrigerators, supermarkets, and even modern spelling. To understand corned beef, we first need to forget what corn means today. Today, corn usually means maize, the yellow kernels we eat on the cob. But centuries ago, the word corn meant something very different. In Old English, corn simply meant any small, hard grain. People talked about corn of wheat, corn of barley, even corn of salt. So when early cooks said something was corned, they weren't talking about vegetables. They were talking about grain-sized pieces of something. And in the case of corned beef, that something was salt. Before refrigeration, meat preserving was a serious challenge. Fresh beef spoiled quickly, especially on long journeys or during winter. The solution was salt, but not the fine table salt we use today. People used large, rock-like salt crystals, roughly the size of grains of wheat or barley. These were called corns of salt. Beef, preserved by rubbing it with these salt corns, became known as corned beef, beef cured with grain-sized salt. The name wasn't poetic, it was practical, and it described the method, not the ingredients. Salting beef wasn't just about taste, it was about survival. Corned beef could last for months, sometimes even longer. That made it perfect for long sea voyages, military rations, harsh winters, trade, and export. By the 17th and 18th centuries, corned beef became a major global commodity. Ships carried barrels of it across oceans, armies relied on it, and entire economies were built around producing it cheaply and in bulk. Here's a surprising twist. The famous association between corned beef and Ireland didn't start with Irish families eating it every day. In the 1600s and 1700s, Ireland became one of the world's largest producers of salted beef for export. Irish cattle were plentiful, salt was heavily taxed in England but cheaper in Ireland, and Irish ports were perfectly positioned for shipping food to Europe and the Americas. Most of this corned beef was exported, not eaten locally. Ironically, corned beef became a symbol of Irish culture much later, especially among Irish immigrants in America who adopted it as an affordable substitute for traditional meats. By the time modern refrigeration arrived, the name corned beef was already deeply rooted. Even though salt grains became smaller, the process became industrial, and corn came to mean maize. The name stayed. Language has a habit of preserving history long after the original meaning fades. Corned beef is a perfect example, a centuries-old word surviving in a modern kitchen. So, corned beef was never about corn. It was about salt, preservation, in a world that had to make food last without electricity or refrigerators. Next time you hear the name, you'll know it's not a mistake. It's a memory, a reminder of how people once lived, traveled, and survived. If you enjoyed uncovering the hidden history behind everyday things, like the video, share it with someone who loves food stories, and subscribe to Simple Things Surprising Histories for more forgotten facts hiding in plain sight. Because even the simplest names can carry centuries of history.